Karl Marx rising from the grave, finding out his movement has been taken over by fat, ugly, mentally ill losers.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the man? Get your...
Testing. Okay, it's working.
Is it working? Is
Yes.
it working?
Is it working?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Haka.
That's us.
Really?
Yes.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 2.
Okay, I'll just leave this up for while we talk about.
What time is
introduce
it? Okay, this is a different. This is a different.
9:50. Oh my god! I didn't even want to look at the. I'm taking this off. I don't want to look at the time.
What is time? Okay.
This
yeah.
is the latest we've ever recorded. It's good recording hours, I think.
It's a
We're trying
first for me.
something
I
new.
think that, well, not first, total first. Like the last time I did one of these late night, I even put up the honorary after hours. Can you see it in the shot? I'm unable to see well. Maybe y'all can see it. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Maybe this camera can see it. I don't know.
Yeah, this one's recording, and you can see after hours in this and that one, and the plaque.
So it's after hours. It's past my bedtime after hours, but we had to come do this special edition. We've been trying to make this since yesterday.
Well, yeah, it was kind of like an emergency.
What's going on?
Well-
The title of the video, I want it to be The Boys Are Fighting or The Manufactured YouTube Drama or something. I don't know, but The Boys Are Fighting.
The boys are fighting on
and Ethan's
YouTube.
here to let us
And
in
I
the
found
inside
this-
scoop.
Yeah, I don't know how this came across my feed the other day, but it was the funniest drama
It is
that I've
drama.
seen in a while. I mean, I love a good YouTube drama.
You always have the best
I've always
YouTube
been,
drama.
you know, I love to watch the YouTube drama. And so I think it was Shoe on Head's video where she was talking about this guy in praise of shadows is the guy's name.
Well, first of all, why are we praising shadows?
Yeah, weird. Well, he's a horror YouTuber, which I guess there's a horror community, which we just found out.
But I'm not surprised to find it out. They got communities. They call everything a community, and I don't want to be called that no more. If anything,
Right.
they ruined it. They ruined it. Just like Hillary Clinton ruined feminism and equality. She ruined it. So the man is praising shadows and acting a fool, and you came across a video made by Shoe on Head.
And she was basically
explaining.
explaining, well, she had gotten called out in this video
He is publicly friends with Shoe on Head, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist.
for being associated. So basically
Right.
basically just thought it was so funny.
I have like a notes breakdown of what I think it means, what I think it is, and maybe I could run it by you. You could tell me if I got the gist.
Yeah.
It's this long.
Well, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so there's this guy's named Wendigoon. He got a YouTube channel. It's got like 3 million subscribers. This guy, praising shadows, he thinks Wendigoon, who is a horror, they're both in the horror YouTube community. This praising the shadows man thinks Wendigoon should be banished from horror community and public, not accepted in society in general, and not perceived as a legitimate critic or a wholesome Christian like he wants to portray. And why is that? Well, because of his associations, beliefs, behaviors, statements that point to racism, cultural appropriation, allegations of plagiarism, terrorism, extremism, and all kinds of other things. And so his conclusion is because of his friends and his associations, including Shoe on Head, he should be banished.
I'm banishing you to the shadow realm.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the gist of the video is. He should be banished from society.
Horror community, public, and society in general is what I wrote down.
Yes,
He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening
exactly.
So that's the gist of this guy's video was like 4 hours, 3 hours long. Then it kept getting parts clipped out. And then boy, YouTube went crazy. What
They
area
did.
section of YouTube is this?
So this is the to me it feels like it's the anti iDubbbz community. Well, it's like commentary channels, like commentary. I wouldn't classify him as a gun YouTuber like this guy does.
I think I just realized where I had heard of Turkey Tom before.
What was that?
I don't know if we're gonna leave this in. He definitely does watch my videos. If I'm remembering correctly, I think he made like a Bam Margera video.
I think
and
he
acted
did like a
the free
year.
Bam movement was stupid and false.
Oh, I think he did a year ago.
Tom. come on and admit it. I'm just saying. Oh my God. I knew I had heard his name before. And
No,
I'm like,
yeah,
I think I like him. I think I heard of him. He made like a, I never watched
I
it.
remember.
To be
I
truly
watched
fair,
it.
I never watched
it.
the
It
video.
wasn't bad. It was
There was another guy made a video
It was
too. I
good.
never watched it. It got a lot, like 1 million views or more.
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe
no,
I
but
made that
think
up. Maybe it wasn't him.
No, actually, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a niche section of YouTube. All those guys that basically he called out. You know, they don't really make the same content, but they're
Right.
friends, though.
There's something in common
There's
there.
like, yeah.
I see, and it's like easy to imagine actually, because like I kind of have parasocial YouTube friends to varying degrees, the varying levels of
Right.
whatever contact or whatever, and
Everyone makes different type
none
of
of us make the same
topic,
videos.
yeah.
Sometimes we'll be covering the same topic once or twice in there, but it's still, I know what you mean. It's like a group of people that know each other and
Right.
stuff. So anyway, okay, so this guy, he makes this long video and it's mostly attacking this one guy, Wendigoon, and Wendigoon is a character in and of himself, and he's this praising the shadows man. He's trying to make me not like Wendigoon, but by the end of the video, I didn't watch the whole thing, I just watched a few sections here. By the end of it, I was a Wendigoon fan, so that's what the video did for me.
Yeah.
They made me like him so much, even
Yeah.
though they were trying to make me hate him the whole time. So he's just sweet and all. I mean, maybe he did something bad in the past or something. I don't know all of those allegations. But yeah, so that's where we are, and that's what prompted this video. And because when I was watching that guy's like attempted takedown, there were so many times where it just rang too like verbatim familiar to me.
Yeah.
Did you have that thought during watching any of this stuff?
There was a lot that was parallel to some things that I've seen.
Which we've
that
seen.
we've seen.
Is it working?
Is it working?
Eerily similar, like almost like a blueprint.
Almost like they are possessed by the same
Same clown.
employer. Clowns.
So shall we watch
So what are we
this?
doing? All right. So
Okay,
we're
let
gonna.
me
So
go.
what have you have prepared for us tonight?
So I've been waiting to watch this.
It's just the section.
If you're not aware, Wendigoon is a horror conspiracy theorist YouTuber with several million subscribers that, as you will
Wait,
hopefully
I'm
come to
already
see,
pausing.
should not be...
There's one thing I wanted people to know. Two things I wanted people to know.
Yes.
I wanted people to know that one of his Wendigoon's videos is about the government hiding cheese in an underground cave.
The government is hiding billions of pounds of cheese in hidden caves.
Yes.
That's the level of like this, the type of YouTube videos the guy makes. I like him.
I've
feel
seen a
impressed
few.
with-
I think I watched him. Like I never really knew who he was. I just kind of like consumed his content like while I was half
Right.
asleep.
Right.
And it was
okay.
good. But it was like, like this cheese video.
The government is hiding billions of pounds of cheese in hidden caves underneath the United States that it is selling off by manipulating our advertising and education systems.
It's just like, it's nothing
And-
political.
The government
And since the drama all popped off, this guy, this angel on earth, has come out and made several apologies. Not only did he make several disclaimers as well, he's out here apologizing to the clear blue sky for nothing. He's like, I am so sorry if I did anything to have offended you. I wish you health and prosperity. I mean, just the sweetest, nicest. You can't be mad at the guy.
The first thing I want to say, well, really the only thing I want to say, which I mentioned in that YouTube comment, is please do not harass, be rude, unkind to anyone on my behalf or any behalf. That's not what I stand by. That's not what I stand for. It makes me sad to see people who claim to be my fans, people who support me, go down to their level, so to speak, right? Just attacking someone, being rude or whatever. I like to think I'm better than that. So please don't do that on my behalf.
And honestly, like, poor thing. I could see why his friends felt like they needed to jump to the
Right? Like,
rescue, and that ended
He's
up
not
happening.
gonna
There's
make
a whole progeny
a
of videos.
breakdown
The
video.
boys are literally fighting. He ain't gonna come into like an anger translator.
the boys are literally fighting, yeah.
Boys are fighting.
seen as the wholesome, southern-friendly dad persona that he has publicly constructed around himself in the past several years.
Okay.
And that, like many people who talk about being Christians as much as he does, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism. On a base level, his work has never been of personal
This is
interest to
him.
me. We share a similar focus on
Wendigoon.
topics that we like to write about, but our similarities basically end there.
Okay, see, this part's important to me because it's giving a little bit jealousy already off the bat.
Yeah.
They make the same type of content. I'm looking at this man and I'm looking at the other one, and I could just see why just the seeds of jealousy would start to bubble up. Like, they make the same type of content.
They're from like around the same area. They look
No
Nothing
need
like,
or
let's be
desire
honest.
Well, no,
to hear
they
5
style-
hours of opinions on
There's
Blood
stylists
Meridian
in
from a
there.
21-year-old million who got famous
Hawaii
around the
shirt.
age of 19. And I know that is probably the most boomer thing that I have ever said.
Yeah, it
Apologies
is.
for that. But I say that to argue that I really do think that there are some works that are really not intended to hit the right way until we are older.
This
There are
man's
some
talking about
works
horror
that fundamentally will not be understood by you.
He's saying you can't talk about horror movies because you're too young. I just wanted to point that out.
If you are
They meant for
wealthy and
young
have always
people. They mostly about young people, to my memory. It's about teenagers in high school.
been upper class your entire life. And this may all sound condescending, but that doesn't stop it from being somewhat true. I don't mean that to think that you shouldn't be able to say or publish whatever you like at any point in your life. You're
Do you
obviously
think
free
this
to
was
do
written
so.
by
And
ChatGPT? I don't mean that to think that. I don't mean that to think that. That's not a sentence. I don't mean that to think that. You shouldn't.
This part's weird to me.
I also don't want it to be seen as if I'm talking down to young people, because I'm not. Politically, they are frequently the most with it, and their voices should be heard on issues that pertain to them.
But not horror movies.
It's weird. Yeah, he's saying young people can talk about politics, but they can't talk about horror movies.
I've been in this cult this man is in. This political pandering. Nothing makes sense.
They are looked down upon too often in our culture. What I'm talking about here pertains to the very act of writing itself, and with that, perspective. And I don't know if you can actually really truly be a good cultural critic with a voice that has a definitive perspective, without several years of genuine, independent, lived experience away from the home that you were raised in. And in his case,
I don't like this man's like general attack on any other way of having a life and a family other than his. It's like there's cultures that people never leave their families home, and it's not because of any shameful reason. It's just part of it. And he's like, you don't count.
It doesn't mean their perspective is any less either, or doesn't mean anything, like, honestly. Especially when you're talking
And
about
why is
a
this man
movie.
even talking? If people, it's people clicking on a YouTube video. No, stop clicking.
This is bait.
Stop clicking on that man's videos.
We already know this is bait, but this is like,
Yeah.
it's already like, you can tell he's just like making nonsense.
It's like,
arguments.
it's an agent provocateur.
Yes.
he became exceptionally wealthy by the time that he was 19 or 20. And
Good for him.
so if
for
you
him.
leave the home and immediately become famous and rich without having to ever actually truly struggle,
he's
can you
so
be
jealous
considered to
about
have ever
telling us.
actually had lived experience at all that would qualify you to give criticism on works of art about the experience of average and poor people?
There's so much.
I would
so
argue
much.
you not. And if that is the case, why would your perspective matter as a critic? Not to mention the
Matter.
fact that
Your
Wendigoon
perspective
was
don't
raised in a
matter.
very wealthy family, and with that comes from a wealthy perspective. He himself has inadvertently admitted that his family at one point had millions of dollars. When he said once on stream, "Would you believe me that when my dad was young, he used to be in an organized crime gang and is now a Sunday school teacher." Very wild life that guy's lived. He was in an organized crime gang that my grandfather ran. A lot of bad things went down. They got investigated by the FBI. My grandpa went to jail. My dad had to testify and tried to take up the business. The business fell apart, and he ended up losing millions of dollars to the state. Lost everything, found God, became a Christian, and is now both the best man and the best Christian I've ever met.
Well, amen,
but also,
Jesus.
I'm not
Hallelujah.
even
What a
here to
story, what
criticize
a
his body
turnaround.
of work. I think his videos are very uninteresting. But ultimately, that is secondary to what makes him worth talking about. The first of which
I've never watched
are
one. Maybe I should have before this.
the very strong beliefs that he seems to hold as important, that are in my opinion the antithesis of what horror should be about.
His
There are many
beliefs
things that are red
antithesis
flags.
to horror and what he believes. they
What
should be about.
horror should be about? I think
to him.
horror should be about scary things.
Well, if that's the definition, I actually would trust this man's judgment. I mean, look at how he's chosen to present his own self. Inflamed,
It's just,
uneven.
that we could talk
Choice.
about, from the bizarre gun ownership, the flagrant use from my perspective of his religion as a shield
Oh,
from
he's
criticism,
preaching.
to the belief that he at one point followed many far-right accounts on Twitter, from Kyle Rittenhouse
Okay,
to
no, we
Parler.
gotta talk about
the social
this. You can start it.
I mean,
said, "Oh, he only followed them," but that doesn't
followed
mean
him.
that he agrees with them.
And
So-
then he continues on to say it the whole time that follows equal support.
yeah, a follow does not equal a endorsement. Just because you want to read what someone's tweeting does not mean, like, we live in a society.
Y'all, I follow Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, and I share stuff sometimes even from the stuff I shared his apology. I wanted y'all to see this. It was a newsworthy event. I wanted to share with the people.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you follow Lima too. No.
Sure do.
Yeah.
I think. I did definitely have.
If she
might
hasn't
soft
blocked,
blocked me,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no, this whole follow equals support thing is so stupid, y'all. It really is so stupid. Y'all, we are grown people. And honestly, I don't know how old this man is, but by the looks of it and just by the feels of it, I'm going to say he probably will graduate high school between like 2008 and 2013. And so he's like a squarely in the millennial. And this other guy is 25 years old. We are grown, y'all. We are grown people. And we gotta stop doing stuff like this. My God, Wendigoon shouldn't have a platform because he said he was a Christian. Please, this gotta be bait.
It gets a lot more obvious.
Are screenshots of tweets that may have been deleted. They clearly, in my mind, show a support to Rittenhouse. Although, since I did not take these screenshots, they do have to be taken with a grain of salt.
So I don't want to get too off in the weeds about this, but to my recollection, Kyle Rittenhouse did go through a whole trial, and they weren't able to find him guilty on anything. He was innocent. So what? I'm not out in the street supporting him. I don't have any reason to do that. But like, what? So what? That's the impeachable offense here.
It doesn't have any effect on his content or like.
Because
he
follows
cares? Is
that
he not
account.
allowed to make a video because he's following an account?
I'm following all kind of depraved
Or
and
talking about-
detestable individuals that I don't agree with one single thing they do.
It's
stupid.
Everything else that we're going to talk about here, to me it seems to fall in line with his general beliefs. These have been widespread across the internet, and to my knowledge, I can find no examples of him directly saying that these are not real. So he may or may not have actually followed these accounts or supported them. But I do not believe that he has ever outright said that this did not happen, so take that as you will. We could talk about his past and supposedly being a founding member in an online conspiracy theory group that, according to him, snowballed out of control into being a white supremacist neo-Nazi organization.
Did you say this one was the strongest in your opinion of possible things that look like evidence, or no?
No, because he left the group. I don't think he has anything strong. I don't think anyone.
So what is this that's going on here that's blurred out, but we looking at it?
This is
called the Boogaloo Boys. His online username at the time was Boogaloo Boy, and he claims to be the first to have started using it, but that he left the group and became Wendigoon after things started to get...
He's just making stuff up with no proof.
I don't see any evidence, any receipts. I feel like I'm listening to a Lima Yevrimovich lawsuit read out loud.
And he says, like, Wendigoon says that he was in this group, but like when he said things started getting weird, he left.
Clear, there's a group that he was at some point affiliated with. At some point, that group did in fact turn off the rails and did some like things we don't support and agree with.
It turned into like an extremist group that was like doing, I don't know, I don't really know that much about it, so I don't really want to speak too much.
That's what it sounds like from
because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But what I do know is that he literally says the reason why he left was because things were starting to get weird and they were getting weird, so he was like, I don't want to be a part of this, and they took his name because they liked it or something. Like it was in that video.
Like 2 points there for me. It's like one is the name association and one that he was like actually in it and said he was, but it was when he was in middle school. This group was associated with some type of like Second Amendment activism type of activities, and then it turned back.
This is not a conspiracy theory in itself. Shockingly, he literally has said so in writing. As you'll see, he was just like, oh geez, sorry guys, about starting a violent hate group, guys. Sorry that people got killed. I totally didn't mean to do all that. My bad. I'll do better next time. Also, it should be noted that the Boogaloo Boys are known for wearing Hawaiian shirts. And guess who else always has on a Hawaiian shirt, despite the fact that he publicly totally does not share in their beliefs, guys. I'm just saying that if at the very least I in any way somehow accidentally inadvertently
behind him is
started a hate group, I wouldn't continue to still dress like them if it were me. It would make me look like I still believed in their cause, and that I just couldn't talk about it because people would publicly get mad at me. If I accidentally started a hate terrorist organization.
While he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and it's like maybe he's trying to be ironic or something, but it's like I have very literal brain, and I'm just literally hearing him talk about himself. Look at it. I can't see away from it.
Everything he's saying is just like there's no evidence, or it sounds like he's gonna say something with substance and then he just moves on to another topic before he gives the punchline. Like
right before he's about to get to the point, he's talking about something else, and it's like a fever dream.
I wouldn't rebrand as a horror YouTuber the next year, and instead would try and fight that ideology as much as I could. And if I didn't do that, then it would probably be fair for people to assume that I still agreed with their actions. At one point, he posted on his subreddit and wrote, "Someone asked me about my old Boogaloo Boy persona, so I made my response and thought I'd share it to set the record straight."
So he literally says in this, as the term became mainstream, so my name was Boogaloo Boy, and several have pointed out to me as being the original and starting the Hawaiian shirt thing, as I've just always worn that shirt. However, as the term became more mainstream, more ideas became to come into the group. Everything from Antifa members to fascists wanted in on it, and the original idea became muddled and broken. I always meant it as a for the people thing, yet it quickly became something else. To give you an idea, I watched the same news station call it a far leftist movement and a far right movement in the same day. It became something I did not want to become a part of. Like, that's...
I hate
and that
being
does
political.
happen in movements. That's what happened to Free Britney. That's what they tried to do with me whenever they set up that fake Discord. It's like when you have movements, when you have a powerful like movement or an individual, they will do this. This is not surprising to me.
It seems like a blueprint. It's weird.
But I wanted to clear this up. Love y'all. Thanks. The statement that he included with this read. Alright, so I'll go ahead and make my official statement here, because better to come straight from me. Over 2 years ago, I was on the first of using the term Boogaloo. Originally, it was a rendition of Che Guevara's, not using the first language, code word for revolution, and I have always been a proponent of freedom and liberty. I believe in the rights of every human, and therefore, aspects of self-independence are important to me. So I began using the word in small settings, and then decided to make a meme page using the name as no one had yet done so. To give you an idea, my name was Boogaloo Boy.
It was a meme
and several
page.
have pointed to me as being the original and started the Hawaiian shirt thing, Wendigoon.
This is just
it was something I acknowledged, but am not a part of anymore for what it became. Some of my current followers and friends were with me then, but I'm not a part of that
It just
anymore.
is weird. It feels so like jealous.
Do you remember when armed men were
Familiar,
arrested a
too.
few years ago for planning the kidnapping of Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmire?
No.
That was the Boogaloos.
I don't remember
Do you
that.
remember when white people showed up at the George Floyd protests and caused property damage and violence in the hopes
No,
that
I
black
don't-
people
I
would
didn't
be
hear that
blamed for
either.
that? That was the Boogaloos. A great deal of their members were spotted in the Capitol during the January 6th insurrection. In 2020, they killed several police officers in a drive-by shooting in Oakland, hoping that black people would be blamed for the violence
is all
in an attempt to
Wendigoon's
create
doing.
racial
Is it true?
tension. The reason they use the word Boogaloo is in reference to a meme that says Civil War II
Oh, look, they got
Electric
the stripe
Boogaloo,
with the
obviously in
Hawaiian
reference to
flag.
the 1984 film Breakin' 2
No.
Electric Boogaloo. Okay, so let's take a closer look at some of the phrasing of his official statement. First off, I have tried and failed to find any connection to the word Boogaloo to Che Guevara. In fact, when you Google Che Guevara Boogaloo,
This
you just get
this
things
was what
related
we
to
were like
Wendigoon.
we couldn't.
When you type in Che Guevara word for revolution,
But, like-
you get things related to Wendigoon. Che Guevara died in 1967, and the earliest
This is so
example of the
stupid.
word Boogaloo that I can find was in 1966, in relation to the musical style. So I would wager
is
that that
literally
is
so
more than
stupid.
likely a lie, to cover his actual intentions and sympathies that
this
he
is how
held as
people
a
feel when they're
seemingly
watching me do a
radicalized
takedown,
teenager.
like a little, like,
According
thing
to
by
the
thing,
Center
and they're
for
like, "No."
Strategic and International Studies, the word Boogaloo began to appear in online forums
Well, they should
related to
make a
hate
video.
content on
You're
4chan
wrong. They should
somewhere
make a
between
video.
2010 and 2012. When, Wendigoon would have been about 10 to 12 years old.
Okay, so he was a
I have
kid.
seen multiple times that it is believed to have been born on gun-related forums. I can find no evidence that within their organizational structure, that they have any allusion to their values starting or being connected to Che Guevara in any capacity.
And this is all supposed
So
to support
claiming he was the
conclusion
first to
so
start
far
using
that
it, or
he's-
among the first, is not true, and is
Not
frankly
He's
a bizarre
unsafe
claim to
for
make.
public.
By the time he would have
No, he
made
didn't
his
get to that
Boogaloo Boy
yet.
username,
Oh, yeah,
the
I'm
word would have
sorry.
already had a near decade of being
burying
entrenched
the
into the
lead.
deepest
far.
layers of alt-right internet
No, you're
radicalized
putting
extreme
the lead out
racism.
front.
He wants to simultaneously be seen as distant from the organization, but still dresses like them on a daily basis.
Oh my God, he's still on
Takes
about.
responsibility in
right in the
claiming that he
middle with the
started their
big shirt
movement
big.
that
when he
was
said-
already in motion
See?
at least
He
7 or so
edited
years
himself
before
big
his
when he said
involvement,
dresses
which
like
to
them
me
on a
just
daily
kind of seems
basis.
like he enjoys taking the credit for that. As historically, he already had an out that he was in middle school when it truly actually began.
He
And
really
if he's
shouldn't
lying
do a
about these
side-by-side
things, it just
like
makes
that.
me wonder
It's
what
Stephen
else is
in
he
no
lying
favor.
about. And the difficulty in seeing the lies and between the things that are true is always the point with these kinds of people who say, for instance, that they do not believe in far-right hate while doing something else at the same time, such as wearing a distinctly coded Hawaiian shirt that
He
would be
believes in
understood
far-right
by the
hate
initiated.
because he's wearing that
As
shirt.
Jared Thompson puts it, who works with the Transnational Threats Project that
I need to write
focuses
that
on
as
the
one of his
evolution.
premises. I need to write these rules down. If Hawaiian shirt, then believe in far right hate. Far right hate. Belief in. belief in. If wear Hawaiian shirt equals belief in far right hate. Belief. Not practice, not support, not encourage, belief.
Boogaloo memes and slang are often deployed in similar formats, and using similar language to more mainstream internet discourse, creating a challenge in parsing the difference between complex inside jokes and memes that are used as a tool of Boogaloo extremism. Then Wendigoon would go on to say that the organization was corrupted by the left and the right equally, but I can find no evidence that the left ever tried to co-opt an organization.
That's a joke, right?
Actively
This is bait. This has to be bait.
I'm not.
This has to
be
a race war
PayPal
within
in the
America.
description.
Just on
I'm
the
not
surface,
taking that bait,
that makes
buddy.
no sense. And on top of this, people who are centrist or on the left do not use the phrasing Antifa members.
This is bait.
The only people who say that are the ones that see Antifa.
Is this? Why is he showing the Pride Parade or the evangelical protest? What is this for Antifa? I'm confused.
Well, there could be a lot of reasons why. And that, I mean, one thing I will give this guy is he does make it very difficult to know if this is a joke, if it is irony, or if he's serious. Because on the one
that's
hand,
a good job on that part.
I give him that. I've been like, you know, in a little indoctrinated into some of these wokey ideas, like in my past. And I really believe some of the stuff, and I would say it with a straight face and really meant it. And it was foolish and stupid. But like, maybe that's what's going on with him. If so, I mean, it's never too late to change your mind about stuff. That's to everybody watching, but.
Well, the first time I watched it, that's what I thought. By the fourth time that I watched it, I was kind of like, it seems like he's really trying to push every single button he can, or just
I think he's a clown and or troll combo, or one or
other. We need to look up what the clown troll hybrid is. There's got to be
provocateur clown troll hybrid.
I need to be on a leash. I need to be on a leash, a tight leash, to be honest.
As some sort of homogenous radical left-wing activist group, as opposed to a general term for anti-fascist movements. He is kind of telling on himself by saying Antifa members, as if they are a part of an organized political militia, like many alt-right groups are, such as the Boogaloo. And saying that there was harm and violence perpetrated on both sides is the kind
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
He ain't letting the Boogaloos go.
If he says Hawaiian, if he talks about the Hawaiian shirt again,
He's
of language that other fascists like Trump say to disorient people into not seeing far-right extremism for what it is. He makes the bizarre false claim that he invented the use of the word Boogaloo as a for-the-people kind of thing, and he doesn't believe in what that group did with his idealization of anti-government ideals, and also wants it to be
look at that tier list behind him, you see?
Very clear that he is not a political person. But to my ear, this is all conservative.
His content is not political, Wendigoon. He doesn't put any.
He's talking about
He's talking about conspiracy theories and like the New Jersey Devil and the Mothman.
Is this man like a lobbyist op or something?
I mean,
in my opinion, there is a regular pattern of behavior there, from supporting Rittenhouse to having multiple ties to other far-right extremists.
I gotta take my note. What's his regular pattern of behavior? I'm ready.
This is all conservative doubles, and I hope that this is becoming obvious to you as well. In my opinion, there is a regular pattern of behavior there, from supporting Rittenhouse to having multiple ties to other far-right extremist figures, that I think a clear picture is painted that he does not mean this as a communist kind of thing, and seemingly more so means people
this was
as
the
a
moment you knew.
Tell him what you
Wendigoon
told me. Is very
let me rewind it one more time.
Ties to other far-right extremist figures.
Too many?
That I think a clear picture is painted that he does not mean this as a communist kind of thing, and seemingly more so means people as a very select.
That's so cool.
Oh, what I said before. Yeah. Well, yeah. The first time when we watched this,
I just want to be standing right there.
Well, I see him next to them, or like
I see. They just look so cool. What do they say? Gun tubers of San Antonio. I want to come. I want to hang out next time.
He just looks like he saw this picture and wanted to be there and was upset he didn't get the invite. Like he just seems like, but like they probably would never invite him based off the way he's acting.
Can you imagine coming up with one thing to talk to him about? I mean, we have to do this freaking. I got my college degree,
I just know
baby.
he would
I'm
have a
not
lot more fun.
To the freaking philosophy boy that interrupts everybody for the whole gun trip. No.
I just think he would be a lot less emotionally charged if he was out there with them.
Me too.
I think
it would level him right out. He would chill right on down.
Hey, Praise Shadows. Going through every one of Wendigoon's friends and insulting them to try and paint him in a bad light makes you seem like a desperate and pathetic freak. You seem like you have low testosterone. It could be making you moody. Try exercising and shooting guns.
Other far-right extremist figures.
And that's the thing. He's calling all these guys far-right extremists.
Yeah,
and
he
it's
doesn't
like,
give any proof of any of that. It might be, I don't know, but he don't keep. I didn't learn it from him.
maybe they have a secret Discord I don't know about, but
They're
that
like
I think a clear
commentary
picture
I highly
pros.
doubt it. Yeah,
painted-
they're like very
does not
chill.
mean-
They don't talk about political things.
this as a
Please.
communist kind of thing, and seemingly more so means people as a
Does
very
this
select
man
group.
mean to say they would
Wendigoon
have been okay if they would have said it in a communist way? Is
It
he saying
almost
like, oh,
feels-
they're not being communist? That would be okay. Is that what he's trying to
He's
say?
saying if they like guns in a communist way, that's fine.
Am I hallucinating? Is it just past my bedtime too much? Like, isn't that what he just said?
ties to other far-right extremist figures. That I think a clear picture is painted that he does not mean this as a communist kind of thing, and seemingly more so means people as a very select group. Wendigoon is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. They have
You
been
can only
seen
say
together on
people if you
multiple
mean it
occasions, and I've seen.
communistically? Are we to the point where the communists are deciding who gets to have a YouTube platform? Is that where we are now? I didn't realize that till this watch around. Amen, Jesus.
Also, is platform a verb or a noun?
Both these days. It's
This is
very
all-
double speaky.
Conservative doublespeak.
Oh,
And I
look at
hope that
that.
this is becoming obvious to you as well. In my opinion, there is a regular
This
pattern
video
of
is a
behavior
red
that-
pill.
from supporting
I always
Rittenhouse
get the colors mixed up.
having multiple ties to other far-right extremist figures. That I think a clear picture is painted that he does not mean this as a communist kind of thing, and seemingly more so means.
Oh, is he
people
talking about
as
this
a-
tweet?
Yeah,
What does the
saying
tweet say?
people. Because he said the word people.
What does it say in regards to the people? Gun tubers of San Antonio are awesome people. But it's not in a communist way.
Which makes it wrong. He was supposed to say people only in a communist way. While he
My
was
last two brain cells are fighting.
All
and
mine are
what
alive and
this
well,
is
telling me what
going
this is.
on.
I
Clear
know what I'm
pictures
looking
painted
at when
that he
I
does
see
not
it,
mean
baby.
this as a communist kind of thing, and seemingly more
worse
so
than I
means
thought.
people as a very select
Every
group.
time I watch it, it's
Wendigoon
worse.
is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. They have been seen together
Very
on
publicly friends with.
Boo!
They're just the very publicly friends with.
multiple occasions,
'Cause
and
they're in
I've
a
seen
car
online
together.
mentions that Tom was either at his wedding or at the very
if you're
least was invited. Tom has been accused of using the N-word multiple times in private conversations,
admitted he did do
including
that.
these screenshots of texts that are alleged to be real. And he's
and he
also
said
been
that
accused
there's videos out there and that he was too lazy to even go find the video.
of saying that the upper
didn't
tiers of
bring
his
proof for
Patreon
it, but
It just
it's
seems
true.
like there's a theme where he's not really going and grabbing the receipts. And then so I don't know, like maybe that's intentional, maybe it's laziness. I
were
don't
intended for Jews with deep pockets. Wendigoon is publicly connected to the internet historian, and has even appeared in his videos. The internet historian publicly said that his birthday was April 20th. It is not, and has only said that as a joke because that is Hitler's birthday. Wendigoon is publicly friends with
420.
Donut Operator, and even retweeted a photograph of the two of them hugging.
No 420
Donut
jokes
Operator
allowed
is a
no more.
gun-crazy,
Also,
very
these people
far-right
don't want you to have
YouTuber.
any fun. You think, when's the last time you think that person right there had any fun? No fun allowed.
He needs
Jesus.
yeah.
It's the Amen Jesus night.
Amen.
In
Hey.
support of Wendigoon.
Man.
YouTuber with 4 million subscribers, whose career consists of him reviewing footage of police officers shooting and killing people. He was once a cop himself, before he made
He
more
was
money
once a
making
cop
YouTube videos
himself.
and retired. His content is very pro-state, pro-cop,
Head
pro-gun, and
removal.
pro-death to people who don't share his beliefs propaganda. For example, one of his videos is titled Predator Takes Shotgun to the Face, and features a picture of him smiling in the corner of the thumbnail next to an image of a terrified man about to be executed by cops, with the text that reads, head removal.
Hi everyone, Donut here. We got a couple of shootings for you today. The main shooting just warms my heart.
And you know, for someone who supposedly is so
It is
very
kind of deranged.
You know,
Okay. There's also some missing context from the head removal.
you
video.
also just can't be friends with anyone, I guess. You just can't have friends.
No.
Like, because if they do one thing that might piss one person off, then oop.
Everybody got to believe everything as everybody else, and you got to believe the same things as all your friends too.
Yeah.
It's the rule. That's why I left this cult. It was too hard to keep up with the rules because they didn't make sense.
Anti-government. Wendigoon seems very comfortable with a man who makes his living worshipping violence committed by the state. He's a man of no conviction, claiming to be very against the government and for the rights of the people.
He needs another word for very in English 101.
Maybe he never left out of there. It sounds like he's still in there trying to fight with everybody, including the professor. I know the type. But actually, Bartleby the Scrivener had actually worked really hard before he got... He's that guy. You know that guy. Didn't every philosophy class have one? If yours didn't, you might have been him. Check yourself.
The internet. And the only thing that one could reasonably gather from this picture of them hugging is that he too is a fascist bootlicker himself. He has collaborated with Nick Crowley, who constantly makes money through the most morbid and shameful true crime content of showcasing the last minutes of people before they are suddenly and unexpectedly killed. Crowley is similar to Wendigoon, in that on the surface they seem fairly edgy, but clean.
Another one he's probably jealous of.
But then you notice that he follows less than 200 people on Twitter, and among them are the same circle with names like Wendigoon, Plagued Moth, Turkey Tom, Mr. Ballin, and Donut Operator.
It just seems like he's like the whiny, like he got left out of the friend group, and he like wanted to be a part.
He had the one android in the group chat. That's probably what happened.
Yeah, like I don't know if maybe he was friends with them. Doesn't sound like it though.
No, I couldn't see them wanting to be friends with this dweeb.
Wendigoon has collaborated with Plagued Moth, a completely shameful content reviewed stuff.
This was the one. I think Turkey Tom said it. He was like, he would probably regret it now. That guy is kind of weird. And like, it's true, like sometimes he'll collab with someone and then later regret it or be like, oh, that wasn't the best look.
Sometimes you can make a real connection with somebody and really like them, but like the way they choose to present publicly as a public figure or the way that they choose to put art out and stuff isn't like really, you don't support that. But like maybe you had like, you know, a connection with them or whatever. I do think like
what this guy says,
I would not want to do a collab.
Yeah,
with
what this guy says is bad, but like there's also no receipts. That's the other thing.
On his Patreon before it was taken down, and has been accused of showing genuine gore content to minors on Discord, and whose main YouTube channel consists of him reviewing censored videos of horrible acts of real-life violence and death. He is publicly friends with Shoe on Head, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist, who has built a career.
What does that mean?
Even if it was true, who cares? You can't be friends with somebody doing that. This man is masquerading as something. I can guarantee you that one thing.
Also, he just replied to her tweet saying congratulations. That doesn't mean anything.
Off of lazy
because she got married.
Anti-woke content, complaining about SJWs, who says stuff like, Karl Marx rising from the grave, finding out his movement has been taken over by fat, ugly, mentally ill losers.
Repeat after me.
A gun YouTuber who has been accused of threat.
Okay, if I was that guy in particular, I think I would sue out of this guy for defamation. The only sentence he got in a whole... I don't know this man from Adam, but I do know he said he wasn't no gun YouTuber. And he said a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening R word. He is also friends... Whoa!
Yeah, and then moves on to the next. No explanation, no receipt.
Even if that's true, you ought to give me a little bit of a screenshot back there or something.
All his, or not all of them, but 95% of these screenshots he's putting in the back don't even relate to what he's saying.
No.
Either.
This is the second one in 2 days that I saw could not cite their sources.
A gun-obsessed content creator that has taken advantage of Nakado Avocado's...
You know who seems truly gun-obsessed?
Him?
This communist.
He's obsessing.
I mean, I know Get Outdoors is but I honestly do think it would do him some favor. He needs vitamin D for sure. He might need a parasite cleanse.
And this part about Nikado Avocado, or is that even how you say it?
Poor Nikado Avocado, the victim of YouTube.
He can do what he wants. Like why are we feeling bad for?
It's like everybody
Nikado
is a baby,
Avocado?
And this man is going to be their daddy or their nanny.
Is he saying that he needs a conservatorship to tell? Like listen to what this guy says.
Yeah,
is he saying Nikado needs a
who has been accused of threatening? He is friends with Oompaville, a gun-obsessed content creator that has taken advantage of Nakado Avocado's mental decline for fame and for money.
You know what? This is familiar too. Whenever they told me that I took advantage of Bam Margera, when Bam Margera publicly asked me to interview him, and then he came to my house and I interviewed him.
People can't.
I was taking advantage of him. I was platforming him.
People can't make their own decisions.
No, Bam Margera cannot make his own decisions. He is not allowed to sit in that chair and have an interview.
Neither can Nikado Avocado, or else it's taken advantage.
A grown man too.
Wild.
And on top of that, has made content with the human trafficker Andrew Tate.
Can you say that?
I don't know where that stands as far as his trial and things. If he's been convicted, then yes. If he's not been convicted, then you're not really supposed to be able to say that. I don't care if he made content with him. Like, I need the specifics of why that's a bad thing, because, I mean, people have interviewed him that I'm not going to be like, oh, they're morally depraved. Like, maybe there's a reason to tell the people the news for transparency.
Yeah, also, like, people have interviewed R. Kelly before. People have interviewed
all these
like,
demons. I saw an interview the other day with a professed PED file, and he was telling what he used to look for in things, and that's depraved. But I mean, aren't we glad somebody said that so that the people know what to look for?
Yeah, look at Mark Leta and everyone he makes videos with.
Nasty.
He is friends with Mutahar, who argued against Andrew Tate being deplatformed from social media websites.
I would argue against that as well. I'm sick of this deplatform shit.
So
These
ridiculous.
communists want to just banish everybody.
And has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video. He's publicly interacted in a friendly way with the account.
Oh my god. What is with this publicly interacted in a friendly way?
Wait, I think I've seen this. You are my homeschool son and I'm teaching you history, and it is funny. It might be a spoof on a meme. I might have seen someone else do it, because I think I remember it being some different thumbnail. So he's positively interacting.
We'll put it in.
So somebody used one of his videos on their meme page, and then he reacted to it. Like,
and he's positively reacting by saying real.
This
is such a reach. It's just like, what is he saying? What is this man saying?
The man don't give me any kind of proof. It's so lazy.
So lazy.
Mr. Gunzengear, whose Twitter bio reads, dedicated to restoring the civil rights of Americans.
Good.
But despite that,
Thank you.
he's tweeted negatively about trans people many times.
Oh my god.
This is the evidence he provided for it. What does it say? I can't read that.
It says leftists use it to commit mass or banning guns, and they like can't decide because all these are people that non-binary and trans perpetrated. But what does this have to do with anything about Wendigoon? Just because
it's very confusing. I literally do feel like a Lima Yevremovich lawsuit is being talked at me.
All I see is who's she, #free bam. That's what I see. But I mean, the girl's she's showing her tatas. That's what she's showing. But I don't see her say, click on this link to look at more. It's a screenshot, and I'm looking at it. I'll have to look back at BJ. I don't think BJ would have. I mean, she's not one to remove any of this. Okay, hold up. Let me see if I can go straight to the.
Right. It's just it's kind of like jumbled and all over the place in one thing after another. Like
Lord,
insane reaches.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them's not even reaches because he don't even say a conclusion. He's just inviting you to like try and piece it together somehow.
It's all implied. It's all like, look at this, look at this.
It's bad.
He has interacted positively with Garant Thumb, who has said, the traditional family should be encouraged and strengthened. I see little to no support from the government or big media. He has said anti-trans statements. He
said that was anti-trans?
He's saying, yeah.
Little to no support from, but despite that, he's tweeted negatively about trans people many times. He has interacted positively with Garant Thumb, who has said, the traditional family should be encouraged and strengthened. I see little to no support from the government or big media. He has said anti-trans statements.
Interact with somebody who said that. That was a perfectly acceptable statement. It was opinion, and it actually...
People will spin anything to fit their weird...
Oh, right, because he's about to say something about swinger. He's about to protect the swingers' rights.
He has called people degenerates, and has said that non-traditional sexual interactions are a disgusting, hedonistic lifestyle. That is the breakdown of the family.
He's misquoting the tweet.
It's making me twitch on my right eye.
He's misquoting the tweet entirely.
He's trying to make it seem like people that's doing swinging is the same as somebody's being gay.
I'm sure this man thinks the same,
that's homophobic.
That's not what this tweet is even saying.
Right. We don't really know Garant Thumb's opinion on that. He might actually believe
he probably doesn't, but like he might, but I don't really know.
I do think I could see there being a big difference here. I mean,
either way, who cares?
Who cares?
So at the end of it, you're not allowed to be friends or interact with anyone who you have an opposing.
Well, you know what I really think that the most truly dangerous aspect of this video is that the guy, praising shadows, isn't even saying these guys shouldn't be saying this stuff publicly. He's going a step further and literally saying that the reason that they are bad is because they believe it. Like, he's belief policing.
And it's only Wendigoon he's really going after. All these other people are the ones
he says
saying,
he's broke too.
Right, we forgot to mention that in the very beginning. We forgot to mention that the original video this guy uploaded is for...
Well, I've told it. I said it.
Okay, good. So yeah, but in the first part of that video, he's talking about, I only made $500 from AdSense. I can't pay rent.
There was a month last year where I only made $500 in ad revenue. I can't live off that.
Blah blah blah. Doesn't mention his 1,300 patrons. It's just weird. I don't know. It's
something's wrong with this
he's
man.
Trying to spin a narrative. It feels like bait. It feels like he's maybe getting what he wanted out of this by even people talking about him.
Yeah, that's part of it for me. I was like hesitant to talk about it because it does seem very, very clearly orchestrated by a clown troll.
It just feels so parallel to some things that we have experienced before. Personally, we've seen, and so yeah, we feel we had to talk about this.
Yeah.
Wendigoon is publicly friends with Brandon Herrera, who has made jokes that implied that he was sympathetic with public shooters who killed leftists, and collaborated with Kyle Rittenhouse, who has posted images of himself with an MP40, which is a gun used by the Nazis that he described as
wait.
the original
This
ghetto
man needs
blaster.
to get off the internet because I think Nazis use the internet.
Everything.
I think they do. I think they might be some on the internet, so this man better scurry on. Banished.
He also looks like he drives a VW bug. He might.
He looks like he needs to do a parasite cleanse to get rid of the bugs.
I just think this is so insane. Every time he says something, I want to like comment, and then he'll say something before I can even form my comment on it. That's even more insane.
Fire psychological operation. I don't know who's. I mean, it might just be this one guy behind it. It might be him and his. He's the whole thing. The operation is just him, but. It's for something. It's for engagement. It's for clicks, clout.
He must have been working on it for a while. I mean, it's like
I don't see how. It looks like he just took his camera roll and made a PowerPoint and started talking.
I've also seen people insinuate that Herrera was with Wendigoon in the days of being part of the Boogaloo movement, but I cannot find substantial proof on if this is true or not. But I've seen several comments saying this. So online, it is at least culturally believed to be true. He has appeared in gun-related content with Haley Luan, an influencer whose content is based entirely around making the United States military appear fun and bizarrely sexually appealing.
That girl's account is weird. No, that girl's account's weird. I'm gonna put some clips in because
I'm being gang stalked by the CIA. They put a chip in my brain. I'm being.
Oh yeah, okay.
I wouldn't kill him. It's just a baby. Hey, that's a cliff, Haley.
It's just a grotesque postmodern psyop, and anyone who's fallen for this is brain damaged.
I think Blippi got the same package as her.
The comment section, her comment section, everyone's like, it's propaganda. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm even wont to follow a propaganda account from time to time just to see what they doing over there. It's my job to talk about some of this stuff.
I watched it for like a good 20 minutes thinking, I was kind of laughing. I was like, this is,
people
it's
act like
funny.
If you watch something, then you're going to be, and the thing is, like, I started to realize that they just don't want you to watch it because sometimes every now and again, something you're going to see is going to make sense. So it's like, just don't watch it. Just don't listen to it. They're far-right extremists, alt-right, pro-gun.
There's extremists on both sides, any side. There's more than two sides, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
sure, yeah.
It's like this guy is saying there's only right-wing extremists. If you're a leftist or left extreme, there's no extreme. It's a little bit
extreme. This is what an extremist looks like. And speaks like and talks like you can't tell up from down, left from right. Poor thing. Bless his heart, can't even get the lights on.
Look at this in the corner.
He's doing this by candlelight.
Can you see that? It's kind of far, but it's...
No.
Okay, we'll skip over it.
Which again...
I agree that girl's kind of
for someone who is supposedly anti-government. He sure does seem to have a lot of wealthy white friends who actively work to uphold the values of the American empire. Or we could talk about the time that he stole art to use in promotional material for his videos, and then blamed it on his editorial team instead of just taking the responsibility.
That's why you don't respond to stuff that you didn't do wrong. But then it's like, then you're giving this dweeb moron something to stand up here and do his little dumb video about. But I really think that Wendigoon is so much of a like beyond like any of this that it really don't bother him. He's like, oh, sucks for you. Your life is clearly, you are miserable. You're telling us you are miserable and cannot pay your bills and cannot sustain your life. So praying for you.
That's because the Wendigoon guy, I feel like he's not obsessed with what other people are doing.
I agree.
This guy is obsessed with what all these other people are doing with their lives, and is like mad that he's not invited to the party.
It's a squirrel acting up right there in the woods.
There is his username. To the Algonquin people, the Wendigo is a negative spiritual symbol that is to be avoided and whose name is to never even be said out loud.
So this party gets into just basically saying that it's, we can probably pass.
This is like his plagiarism shit.
He's basically saying some other thing. Okay, so the big things that Wendigoon did wrong, associated with people who do things like exercise their rights and have opinions that are different than this guy. He also apparently has plagiarized from this guy for using a yellow cross in a thumbnail. For which apparently Wendigoon apologized. I don't think he should have done that. Then now this guy's going to talk about how he basically thinks this Wendigoon name is based off of a Native American folklore creature. And this basically he's attacking whether or not Wendigoon has the right to use this, which I think is borderline approaching racist, because Wendigoon says that his grandfather is like, you know, Native or whatever. But yeah, that's what he talks about in this section. I'm not convinced. I'm not compelled.
Yeah, no, it's not compelling really. And he says that they're not supposed to you're not supposed to say the name out loud or write the name down, but then he proceeds to say the name like about
over
35 times.
And he's saying that you're not supposed to oh yeah, he also said that Wendigoon lied about the origins of the channel, basically calling into question his like a proposed ancestry.
Oh yeah, saying he was
and all the while this guy's like white and from the same area and wearing a Hawaiian shirt still.
He has attempted to deflect from criticism over the use of the name by saying that his grandfather was Native American, and that he learned these things culturally through him. There are 26 million people in this region, and well over 80% of them are white, with the majority of the others being Latinos. And if I had no cultural connection around me to that non-white percentage of my history, then what really would give me the right to dictate whether or not what I was doing was appropriate? I really would have no ground to stand on. The other thing that I would add to this is that Wendigoon and I are practically neighbors, and I know this area very well. Wendigoon lives somewhere just on the other side of the reservation. That is not me doxing him. He has said many times publicly that he lives in East Tennessee.
And I'm not even saying
why does he know where he lives? Like
and the way he just gave us directions there from his house.
It's weird.
Something is wrong with this man. He is jealous.
I have a weird feeling that he tried to hang out with Wendigoon, tried to befriend him in some way, or like wanted to and knows it's not attainable, and so it just feels like he wants to be his friend.
It might also be that familiar thing of, you know, this person for whatever reason cannot be their authentic self and live their authentic life and just like do the things they feel like doing and stuff, and seeing someone else do something they don't feel like they can do, or say something they don't feel like they can say, or be a way he doesn't feel like he can be.
Yeah.
And there's some theories offered from some of the other responders as to what that might be, the reason that might be.
I do also think he makes the same type of content that this guy wants to make. Like Wendigoon makes the same kind of content that this guy wishes or like tries to make, but it's
like
doesn't
professionally jealous too.
Yeah.
According to the latest census, there are only 23 black people who live in Maggie Valley. There are 15 Native Americans, despite it touching the reservation.
Why is he doing this research?
Downtowns. It is about as white as you could possibly get. Deep Appalachia is very white country,
the other one
and
of
for the most
racism
part,
is the one
is
counting the black
exceptionally
people
racist.
in the town.
Genuinely in this part of the country, you have to assume that any white person you meet is racist unless they show you otherwise. Almost all of these
Everyone is
well over
racist
90%
until they show you.
But if you were to
otherwise.
drive through Maggie
He's the
Valley,
one
you would find
fixated
antique
on
stores
this
selling
racist.
busts of Native American braves, carved wooden eagle, vintage paintings of buffalo, superstitions super racist generalizations that idealize the idea of the noble, good kind of Native America.
No,
and then
you're
you'll drive
not
onto the
showing any
reservation,
receipts
and it's just
at
run
all.
down and poor as shit except for the casino. He has said that the Wendigoon name came from his cultural connection to Native lore through his grandfather's side. But I can assure you that unless you were on the reservation itself, the actual Native culture has no aspect of the general lives of the people around here, other than the racist trinkets that depict them. And as I said a moment ago, the Wendigo is Algonquin, who are more close to the vicinity of the Cherokee, who are in the southern Appalachian region, and throughout the lower sections of Middle America. The Algonquin people are Canadian, and a little bit Northern America. So insinuate they can use the Wendigo name by citing local cultural native customs is completely absurd to a person who lives in the same general vicinity as he does.
Let's see what comes up next.
I want to do the arm comparison.
Yeah, where was that?
Where's a good specimen for that? I found another reason.
Oh,
why this is
it's
jealous.
over here.
Goofy YouTube. The only thing I believe in is loving God and my wife. Donut operator. You know, the ex-cop who makes death content. The Wendigoon shared a picture of nothing substantial. And that's the point. I quote tweeted this and said, not that I have a stake in this whatsoever, but this is such a
the only thing they
non-stop.
care about is God and their wife. How are you gonna have a problem with somebody saying that? Far right extremist propaganda. Fascist propaganda.
You can't get mad if people call you on questionable things that are said or done if you are making money off of them.
This is
what resulted from
the man makes videos about cheese.
That the government hid in a cave. Somebody literally sent him a picture of a bundle of sticks, and he's using it as it was like some type of like threat.
When you come after someone who has a lot of fans, their fans are going to try to stand up for them, even if they don't want them to.
Right.
Like, there's gonna be people that don't listen.
And honestly, like I don't like some of my fans and some of my subscribers. That's not my people. If I'm telling you, don't go cause any ruckus and chaos because it will make them be mad at me and I could get in trouble for it. I'm telling you, don't do that. And you go do it. F you. I don't need you unsubscribe from my channel, sociopath. That don't mean that's me doing that.
It's almost like when you say don't go make a Discord and then people go make a Discord. It's the same principle.
Kind of like that. I never went into any Discord about that.
Or like anything. It's just like if you tell your... Or they can make a Discord, but don't use my name.
Get your own... Make your own name. Get your own brand on it.
He's...
Oh my God. Someone literally tried to say the same about me before. They tried to make the same type of leaps. Like, he associated with so-and-so, and she liked this before, and this, so therefore. And it's like, seek medical attention.
Heavy metal detox is all I'm going
At
to
least.
say.
Medical
might need
intervention.
Some ivermectin.
At least a week, where every single time I said anything, my mentions were just filled with the most vile far-right rhetoric from Wendigoon.
You never know what's crawling up
Somebody
there.
get him some hydrochloroquine.
Fans. And if anyone ever criticized me and people's reaction to it was to immediately start using hate speech, I would shut that shit down so fast.
How?
I think that
I
most
want the
decent people who
playbook.
work online would do the exact same. And if they don't want to be seen as a big group of Nazis, then let's see how they react to this video.
They actually all were pretty chill. Like,
Everybody's reaction I saw, including Turkey Tom, who apparently I now have beef with all of a sudden now that I remembered he might have made a video and we have beef. Even him, like, they were all pretty... Honestly, I agreed with him a lot on his...
like,
I agreed with him a lot on his views on this. It's like a lot of the same points.
none of them really had meltdowns or any freaked out like he's saying.
This one
Or,
freaked
like,
out the most. This is the extremist. And this is what happens. You know, we got this grown man standing up here talking about being the champion for the black people and the champion for the women and the champion for the femmes and the bottoms and the champion for everybody and everybody's mama. And talking about deleted tweets about Second Amendments and things. And it's like, you know, I really do think, hey, y'all are going to hate that I'm saying this. This is what happens when men don't have to hunt for their food no more. That's what Could he go out and get us some backstrap? Put him in a deer. A Wendigoon followed him. I bet you it was a total coincidence.
Oh, that is so stupid. Like,
I think he'd been waiting to do it, and then he waited until he finally followed him or finally interacted with something, and he's like, I'll make my video now.
It's just, with the Chris Chan. There's so many.
Oh, boy.
Like, I this has just gone on for too long. I'm like, there's like, I guess there's probably so much more we could say about this.
There is, but it all is the same bucket. It's like he's saying that we should literally banish someone from public, from his own community of horror community, from the public, not accept him in society, not perceive him as a legitimate critic of anything ever, and don't think of him as a wholesome Christian. All those things because of what? It just holds no water. It's stupid. These people don't want you to be able to think nothing, say nothing, go anywhere, have any friends. They want to completely isolate people. They want to make you as miserable as they are. That's what they want. Look at them. Inflamed as hell.
Listen to this.
He's doing it by candlelight on one side, and on the other side, he's got the space heater.
This one part is, I think, what really broke me.
Which, if you watch the comments under the video, I guarantee you will happen again, with takes like, oh, he's just a YouTuber. Why does it matter?
Who?
Or, so what if he's a conservative? Is that a problem? Which, the answer to that is yes.
Being a conservative is such a bad thing? Yes, I am. It's like, okay, so being a conservative is one of the reasons you're propping the argument up on, and the argument is the man should be banished, not accepted in society, and not allowed to make YouTube videos about scary movies and cheese.
But the reason that I care is because this does not belong in horror, or anywhere. I care deeply about horror, and everything that he does has demonstrated so far in his career that he should not be welcomed in our spaces, or even, just in public in general.
Literally is communism. A lot of these people are calling themselves that, but this is what it is. And it's fascism too. It's just totalitarian. You can't do nothing. Can't think thoughts. He wants to be inside your head. He wants to tell you a shirt you can wear.
The Antifa is now the Profa. It's too much.
The broke atheist.
The broke atheist. The broke atheist
communist
with low testosterone is mad.
Questionable testosterone, certainly very, very elevated cortisol levels. Inflamed.
It's a lot.
I think he could benefit from an ice bath.
The poor kid. I mean, it's just.
I wonder if he's tried.
Choices were made with this whole video, and I think.
I do believe it was just to get attention and click clouts, and we're kind of like, contributing. But I had to stand up for what's right on this one.
So yeah, I think that's where
this was fun. Thank you for letting us know about the boys fighting. Everyone tell Ethan thank you in the comments, because I wouldn't have known about this story, and I'm happy to say that this is a Wendigoon support situation channel right now. This video, at least. I hope he never did anything bad or gross, but if he did, I don't support that.
Yeah, from what I've seen with this drama, though, it's ridiculous.
It was the apology for me. It was so sweet.
Yeah, we'll
it'll be in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
It's probably like 2:00 in the morning or something now, so we got to go by.
Okay, bye.
Come and lay out your mouth.